Hey everybody, welcome to The Crafty Chemist. Today we are going to be making these cute little Easter baskets. So grab a sheet of patterned paper and craft along. Hi Belinda. We're going to make these cute Easter baskets today. You just need a 6-inch sheet of paper and then a little bit to make the handle. I'm going to share it to the group and then we will get started. Hi. Welcome everyone. Okay, I shared it to the group. If you're watching, say hi so I know you're on. And if you're watching the replay, say #replay so that I know that you watched it. So these Easter baskets are so cute. You can see they're mini baskets, and they're so easy. You need a 6-inch piece of paper, that's all, and then whatever you're going to make your handle with. Before I get started, let me introduce myself. My name is Maggie Workman. I am the Crafty Chemist. I go live every Sunday at 4 p.m. Central Time. I'm on Central Time. If you see anything that you like that I talk about, you can purchase it at my website, thecraftychemist.closetomyheart.com. Hi, Diana. I go live from my business page, Crafty Chemist Designs. I do have a Facebook group that I invite you all to join. It's called The Crafty Chemist Presents CTMH, and in that the community can post their samples. So if you make one of these today, go ahead and post yours in the group. You can ask questions, show your artwork, and get support from the community. I do have an Instagram at Crafty Chemist Designs that I post artwork every day. And I have a blog, periodicallycrafty.blogspot.com. I actually have the directions for this up on the blog. And I will post a link to it right now because I'm going to be showing you using those directions as we go along. So if you are interested in pulling that up, you can just take a look at that once I post the link. Okay, I posted the link there. How's everybody doing today? Hi, Vicki. What's everybody doing? We had a brunch with the kids over today, so we had a lot of family over this morning. Wait, a couple more minutes and then we will, it's 4:06, so maybe we'll get started. I know I started about a minute late or so, and that's because I could not get Facebook to go live in the landscape position again. I don't know if they changed the setting or what they did, but I couldn't get it to go landscape. So again, today we're in this vertical orientation, so I hope that's okay. I think you'll still be able to see everything. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to show you, so this is the sort of the head page of my blog, periodicallycrafty.blogspot, and I do have the directions here, so as we go along. What I'm going to feature today are these papers. These papers are part of the mixing collection, so every catalog close to my heart has a mix-in pack of papers that goes with the two collections that are in the pack. And so this year, or this catalog, the two collections are the Cake Day papers and the In Full Bloom papers. And so these sort of go with those papers. So I'll show you what these look like. So the first one has got some words on it, and then the back has some Parisian, looks like a newspaper. I did stamp on these. I was just practicing some stamping, so that's not on there. This one has wood design, it's kind of gray. And this one, I don't know, it looks kind of like denim, but very light. It's like more like gray denim. And then this one has, it's like a glacier background with blue splotches on it. And then this one is cute. It almost looks like a quilt, right? It's got the half square triangles. So this is cute. And then this is what made me think about doing something Easter-like, because to me these colors look very Easter. Hi Dee. Hi Jolie. So this one is a lagoon color with the polka dots. And then on the reverse side, it has X's and O's. So it's white with the lagoon X's and O's. This is a yellow sort of gingham. And then the back is, it's white with yellow splotches. And this is a nectarine, and it has, they're dots, but it goes diagonally. And then the back is white with a nectarine. Again, they're kind of splotches, they're dots, but it's made up of little stripes. You like that gray? This one, it's kind of like a heathered gray. So it's like gray, but has some heathering in it. So that's why I said it kind of looks like, you know, denim, close-up denim, but it's not blue. It's definitely a gray. So these are the mix-in papers. And you get 6 sheets of these. So if you do, like if you would want to make this be your background of a scrapbook layout, you really need to buy 2 packs. Because you have to, you know, you only get one, and you have to choose which side you want, okay? So I'll drop a link to those. Okay, and then did you know that we also have coordinating cardstock for the mix-ins? And so this catalog's coordinating cardstock are these colors, black, pewter. So this is really nice. It's a darker gray, not quite charcoal, but a nice gray, so pewter, glacier, lagoon, nectarine, and lemonade. These are in the catalog, however, they don't show the picture of these. So these are right by the mix-in papers, but there's no picture. So you have to kind of look in the text underneath. Oh, I think I clicked on that twice. Okay, so what I thought, you can see I've already made this green one with green gingham. And on this one I used a solid cardstock for the handle. And then this one I used the nectarine orange plaid kind of paper. So I thought for my third one, I have to decide which one to make. I was thinking about doing the lagoon. I'm thinking about doing this. I've already used some of this to make some of my samples. You can see I used part of it to make one of my Mother's Day card samples. So I've already used some of this, but this is enough to make the basket. It's enough to make 2 baskets with just this sheet. So I think I'm gonna make this one because I've already made an orange, and I think that this yellow is a little bit hard to see on the screen, so I'm gonna go with the lagoon. Okay, so let's go into the blog and see what it says. So the first thing that we need to do is cut the 12 by 12 paper into 6 by 6 pieces. Okay, so I'm going to cut this into a 6 by 6 piece. I'll keep those here to guide us. Maybe, unless it gets in my way. Okay, and I know I have at least a 6" on here because I think I cut 5.5 the last time. Okay, so I'm going to cut 6" here, and then another 6 inches this way. And I'm going to save this because I am going to need this strip here later. Okay, so all you need is a 6 by 6 piece. Okay, and then the first thing we're going to do is score it at 1 7/8 and 4 1/8. I don't know if I can make these. Oh, there we go. 1 7/8 and 4 1/8. Okay. So I'm going to take off my cutting blade and put on my scoring blade. If you have a scoreboard, you can use that, or you can just measure it and you know, use a stylus to score. So 1 7/8. So that's this line here. So let's talk about this. The bigger lines here are the quarters. The medium-sized lines are the 8ths, and then the smallest size lines are the 16ths. So, you know, me being a chemistry teacher, we always have to talk about fractions and things. So I'm going to put it here, which is the 1 7/8. Okay, so the medium one right before the 2, that's what you want. So score the whole thing. And then 4 1/8. So 4, and it's going to be the first medium size line. Okay, so I have it scored here and here. Hi, Danielle. Okay, so we've got it scored there and there. Now what we're going to do is turn the paper 90 degrees and do the same thing. Okay, so turn it 90 degrees and score it at 1 7/8 and 4 1/8. Okay, so now you should have kind of a tic-tac-toe board with sort of the 9 quadrants, and the middle quadrant is a little bit bigger. Okay, so now what we're going to do is turn it another 90 degrees. We're going to turn it another 90 degrees, and we are going to score it again. But this time you're only going to score down to the first score mark. Okay, so let's look at here. I'm going to fold it to make it a little more obvious for you. Hopefully you can see it a little bit better. Okay, so we're going to score it, but we're going to score it only down to this line here. Okay, and those measurements are 5/8, 1 1/4, 4 3/4, and 5 3/8. Okay, but only score down to the first score line. Okay, so first we're going to score at 5/8, and so 5/8 is going to be the medium size mark right after the half, because a half is 4/8, right? So 5/8 is that first one after there. And on here, you can, my my cutter is marked. It has a ruler here. So I'm going to go down to the 1 7/8 mark because I know that's where I scored it to. Or you can just kind of visually look at where you scored it. And it's not super important because we're going to cut it by hand. So you'll be able to see what you're doing. Okay, that was 5/8. And now 1 1/4. So that's a little bit easier. So 1 1/4, it's the, you know, the big line after the 1, the first big line after the 1. Okay. And then 4 3/4. Again, from the top just to the first score line. And then 5 3/8. So 5 3/8 is, the medium line is 1/8, this is 2/8, so this is a 3/8. So it's the medium line right before the halfway mark. Okay. So basically what you did is you put a line here, here, and here. So you've kind of have 3 strips here, and now you have 3 strips over here. And then the big center part is not scored. Okay, let me know if you have questions about that. But again, they are all in my blog that I did link. Oh, my computer went on here. Okay, and then what you want to do before we turn it, you want to mark it at 3 inches somehow with like a pencil, because you can erase it later, or you can mark it with you know, your scoring plate if you want to. You know, you can just go like this and sort of mark it, because what you want to know is the center part there. So mine is right, it's right there. So you kind of just want to mark it somehow. Okay. Okay, so now what we're going to do is turn the paper 180 degrees and basically do the same exact thing. Okay, so we're going to turn it 180 degrees, and on the other side do the same thing. Okay, and again, that was 5/8, 1 1/4, 4 3/4, and 5 3/8. So 5/8, the medium mark right before the half, and again, only go down to the score mark, the first score mark, which was at 1 7/8. 1 1/4. Just down to the first score mark, and then 4 3/4, and 5 3/8. So the medium line before the half. Okay, and then this one you want to mark at 3 inches also in the center. Okay, so let me know if you're following along here. Does anyone have any questions? Okay. So now what you need to do is, using a pencil, we're going to draw a line from that 3-inch mark to the corner, okay, on each side. So I'll try and show that. Let me fold it here to maybe make the line more visible to you. And you don't have to do this folding right now, but I'm going to do it so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, so you see how it's scored here and here. So our tic-tac-toe board, right? So there's the first a corner where the bars meet. Here is the corner. So we're going to draw a line from the 3 inches to the corner, and then the 3 inches to the corner there. Okay. And I'm just going to use a ruler and a pencil. You could, if you are a little more sure of yourself, use your scoreboard or whatever. So I like to start by putting my pencil or my ruler right on the corner here, and then making it meet the 3-inch mark. Okay. So I'm going to go from here to here. How did I do there? Okay, and then I'm going to go from this corner to here. Okay. This one I went a little bit too far. It should kind of go to this dot. So I'm going to redraw that. Okay, that seems better. Okay, so and then you want to turn the paper 180 degrees and do the same thing on the other side. Okay? So let's turn it this way. And again, I'm going to go from here to the corner to right there. And then from here to the corner here. Let me see where the corner is. It's right along that line. Okay. Okay, and on that one, I went a little bit, I'm going to redraw that one too, because I want it to be right here. I want it to be here. Okay. Okay, so now we're almost done. Now what we're going to do is take our scissors and we're going to cut along the triangle. Hi, Shelly. These are the mix-in papers. These are the mix-in papers from March and April catalog. It's X9038, and I did drop a link sort of right above where you asked the question. So they're very nice. I think these ones were very kind of Easter-like color, so that's why I chose that. There's also this one that has potential to be the Easter color. Okay, so now I'm just going to cut this. Okay, and you're going to cut it along your line and cut along your good line. So on this one, I'm going to cut along this line here. Okay, so kind of cut along that V. And now I'm going to cut along these score lines that you made. Okay, so you remember we made the one that's, I'm going to emphasize it for you so you can kind of see maybe. Actually, I think on the back maybe you can see it better on this white background. So you see how you have sort of three rectangles here. So I'm going to cut right along those, but only cut down to the first score line. Okay, only cut to the first score line. Maybe I'll cut it this way so you can see it a little bit better. So this first one that you do is going to cut this piece off, which is what you want. And now I'm going to cut from here, the end to the first score line, because you're just kind of making flaps, kind of like you're making fringe. Okay, and then this one. Okay, then I'm going to do the same thing on the right side. Cut along your score marks. This one here is a little bit harder to see. Okay, cut along there, down to the first score mark, and then the last one here. Okay, so you can see now you have kind of fringe on this side, on each side, and then the triangle there. And now we're going to turn it 180 degrees and do the same thing. So I'm going to cut along the triangle and then cut along the score lines. Okay, so let's cut the triangle first. And this is my good triangle here. Okay, cut there and cut here. Okay, and now cut along the three flanges. I'm going to turn it over because I think you can see the marks. Can you see the marks better on this side? I think so. So just cut this off. It should cut pretty nicely there. Okay, cut this one. And really, if you're confident, especially after you've made several of these, I think instead of scoring, you know how we went down and we scored those marks? You probably could do that with the cutting blade. So you could cut instead of scoring and then cutting with scissors. If you are comfortable doing that, you could, save a step and do it that way. I'm a little more old school because I don't trust myself. So Okay, so this is kind of what it looks like. So we're doing pretty good on the directions on the blog, right? We end up something that looks like this. I think it kind of looks like a Star Trek ship, or not a Star Wars ship or something, one of the ships. Okay, so we're almost done with this part. Oops. I wanted to make it bigger and Okay, so where were we? So we're doing pretty good. Okay, so now you kind of want to fold and burnish along the score lines. Okay, just so that they're kind of flexible. And I kind of did that already because I was trying to show you making the score lines easier to see. So just make sure that these are all pretty flexible, especially if you're using solid cardstock, because the solid cardstock, or at least the close to my heart, solid cardstock is a little, I would say, thicker. So, okay, so it all's pretty flexible. Now I'm going to go and kind of go along this and erase any marks, because you can see like here, my pencil mark is there. So I'm going to erase those. Okay, so just touch it up if you, maybe along the edges of your triangles, you might have it. It's not a big deal if you leave it, but okay. So now here's the part where you are going to start making the basket. So I want to use this side for the basket, okay? So what I'm going to do is, this is going to be my outside. So take the two strips at the end, so from each side, and bring it together and kind of put the points together, okay? And then hold it. And now working with the next two strips, you're going to put them up, put this one up, put this one up, and the whole time you're going to try to keep them together, okay? And then this one's going up, and this one, then the last one's going up, okay? And you want them to kind of be even. And then the last thing we're going to do is take the point and bring that up. So now you can see we've kind of got the side of the basket. And what you want to do is you want the basket, I'm going to take the candy out right now. So you want the basket to kind of be flat along this edge, okay? So you see how that's basically flat? This one I did, and it's pretty good, pretty flat. I I think it dips down a little bit more, but you want this, so this part, those first ones that you put in to be sort of flat. Okay, and then what you want to look at is, if you want to see if these are even. So you see how this one meets up about the same place? This one's going to meet up the same place. I'm happy with kind of how they're looking. Okay. And I also keep in mind that, you know, you're going to put a decoration over it. So, you know, it doesn't have to be super perfect. Okay. So now you have to secure this together. I am going to use a stapler. So I have this little stapler and I'm going to, you got to try and keep them all together and then staple it. So make sure you staple through all of your layers. If you're going to make this for a little kid or something that you are afraid of using staples, you can try something else. You probably could do liquid glass or glue. But that would take a little bit longer to dry. I am going to cover the staples, as we'll see, like I said, with some decoration. So it's not that big of a deal, but if you're afraid of a kid maybe choking or something, you can use some other method. But okay, so now all we have to do is flip on this side and do the same thing. So start from the ends, the pieces on the end, and bring them up. Bring the next two up. Bring the last two up, and then again you want to try and get them even so they're all at basically the same angle, and then bring the triangle up, and the triangle does kind of cover it, so then you work around. Now here's what I'm talking about when I'm saying even. Can you see how this one, the bottom one on the left side goes way up here, but then the bottom one on the right side is way down here. So I'm going to, you know, adjust them so that they're more even. Okay, and then this one I think is up a little bit higher. Okay, so just go till you are happy with it, and again try and make the top one flat, and then staple it again. Let me hold these together, and then staple. Oh, I let go. Let's try it again. I was trying to show you without my hands really being in the way, but that's difficult to do. Okay, and then just work it. Like I said, just kind of get it so you're happy. And again, this one's up higher than this one. I want this one to be up more. Okay. Okay, now let's try and staple it. Okay, I think I got all the pieces there. Okay. Okay, so we're doing good on the blog here. Now we're gonna make the handle. So what you want to do for the handle is cut a piece 1/2 inch by 7 inches of like the matching pattern paper or the solid colored cardstock. So on this one, I use matching paper for the handle. And then on this one, I use the solid colored cardstock just to show you sort of the difference between the two. On this one, I'm going to use, I do have a little bit of a 1/2 inch strip here. So let me cut off the zip strip. So you want it to be 1/2 inch by 7 inches. Okay, so I'm going to put my cutting blade back on and then cut this to be 1/2 inch by 7 inches. So I got the 1/2 inch mark. Okay, and now we're going to do it 7 inches. So let me open up my arm here and cut it at 7 inches. And this you could play around with. You can make it wider, less wide. I did start off making, I tried to make it 1 inch, and it was too wide compared to the size of the the size of the basket. Okay, so this is 7 inches by a 1/2 inch. Okay, now our papers are thinner. Like this isn't really strong enough to be by itself, I don't think. So then what you want to do is take a piece of white daisy cardstock that is 1 inch by 7 inches. Okay. So this seems to be about 7 inches. So let's cut a piece of this. Some scrap white that I have. Okay, so 1 inch by 7 inches. Oh, I don't think it's going to be long enough. Well, maybe. It's a little bit short of 7. This one's long enough. Let's make sure it's 1 inch. Okay, actually this is exactly 1 inch, so let's make this 1 by 7. Okay. And so all I'm going to do is I'm going to attach this right in the center. And I'm doing that right just with my Mono Air adhesive. Okay. So I'm going to put this right down the center to make it stronger. Okay, and you could play around with, you know, whatever directions that you want. So I attached this. So now what I'm going to do is I use decorative scissors to make a fancy design. So I used a couple different ones so you could see. This one I used this, and I don't know what this shape is called. It's kind of a scallopy, but it has the points on it. I do like this one. So this is the one I use for this. And this one I use, it's called Cotton Candy. So here's the Cotton Candy one. I also thought, and I might try this one because I haven't done it yet. This is like just the waves. So let's try this one since you can see the other two, but you could also use like a decal, whatever you want. If you don't have scissors, yes, if you don't have scissors or decorative scissors, or if you threw all of your decorative scissors away, you can use our Fancy Borders Thin Cut Z3682. I thought, you can use something like this for the edging, one of these, but you may have to play around with the size of your white paper. Okay, so I want to try this. Let's see. And there is a reason why people don't really use decorative scissors anymore, but I have these, right? Everybody has these if you haven't gotten rid of them. And I'm not speaking to anybody in particular. Yes, I'm just saying. Oh, I really like this one. This I think is my favorite. I do like the Fancy Border, but I think this one might be my favorite. Or, you don't even have to use a fancy edge. You can just leave it white if you want to. But it gives it a little bit of a fancier feel to it. Okay, there you go. So that one wasn't too bad. Okay, and that was this one. And I don't know what this is called, but it's like a wave. Yeah, Diana, you still have some? So do I. So do I. Okay, so now the next thing is I am going to put this on and staple it. again. Okay, so I'm gonna put it down. I'm gonna try and do it so you can see, but it might not be the easiest. Okay, there we go. Oops. Okay, I stapled it and it didn't even reach down. Again, I'm trying to do this with this, my camera's right here, and so it's really hard to see things. And I'm gonna work this out. Okay, and then you do the same thing on the other side. And I put it on the inside. You could put it on the outside. It's up to you. Again, I'm going to cover it, so it doesn't really matter. Okay. This one, it feels a little kind of loosey to me, but so I'm going to put another staple in there. Okay. So there's the basic of your little basket. It was super easy. You're going to try brad. I did think about a brad. Well, that's another option. The only problem is getting it through all 3 pieces on each side. So you have these 6 pieces plus this one. So, you know, that's an issue. Okay, so here's the next thing. So again, I stapled it on here. Now, what you can do if you're afraid of the staples showing or being out, what you can do is cut these, cut circles out and then glue them on. So I will show you how to do that because we have time. So let me get my big kick out. And I'm going to use the circles. It's just a Circles Thin Cut Z3943. And I'm going to use that smallest one. And since I did this in Lagoon, I think I'm going to use Lagoon. You really shouldn't see this at all, but so you should just coordinate somehow. I could also use this, but I only have this 6x6. I don't have any other scraps of this, so I'm not going to use that. Okay, here's a scrap of Lagoon. And then you need 4. So you need 4 circles. You need 2 for the outside to cover the outside staples, and then 2 to cover the inside staples. Okay, so let's cut 4 real quick. I will show you the first one I made, the orange one. I did not put circles on it. So I'll show you the difference between the two so you can decide. Again, it depends on who you're giving this to. I'm giving this to my kids who are, you know, 30 years old. So I'm not worried about them with the staples. But if you're giving it to like little kids, I think these would be cute for your co-workers, like if you want to give a little treat, your nieces or nephews, like my nephews. I don't have a niece. Well, I do have a niece, but actually she's getting one of the big ones, but she's older. But my little nephews, I would give one. You know, they come over and you want to give them something, but you don't want to give them a whole big huge Easter basket like from the Easter Bunny, right? So this is cute. Or you could put these on your co-workers' desks, you know. Okay, so I cut 4 out. You could, maybe you have a punch. You know, some people have like these circle punches. Oh, you know what? For the Disney fans, I bet you could cut these out with a Mickey punch. Does anybody have a Mickey head punch and cover that up? That would be really cute. Do this in a Mickey design. Like do a red polka dot or something, and then put the Mickey head, and then actually that could be your decoration. Although I will show you why that might be an issue, because the staple kind of shows through. I don't know. Okay, so this one I did not put a circle on. Okay, so you can see I didn't put a circle. This one I did. So you can kind of see the green behind his head, but not really. And so I put it on with some of the Tombow liquid glue. This is like the multi-bond, okay? So, and I just kind of covered it like this. And then I'll do one for the inside. You don't want to use a huge amount because it can squirt out. And so when you do this, you kind of want to line them up so that they're overlapping. And I have these little clips that I use for quilting. And so I'm just going to put those on here. If I can get it, cover these. Okay, I'm just going to put it on there to hold it. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side to let it dry. Okay, so there we go. Put this here. And again, this is optional. I didn't do it on the orange one, but I did on the green one just to kind of show you. But, you know, you can make it part of your design too. I will tell you another couple things that I've seen people do while we're waiting for this to dry. So again, I have another clip from my quilting stuff. Okay, so here are some things that I've seen people do. You can take a circle like this and then run it, like fold it over the front and the back. I should have done that before I glued one down. But let me just draw it and kind of show you what I'm talking about, because it's hard to describe. It's not going to be perfect, but it will give you the idea of what I'm talking about. So let me cut this here. Okay, so you could take it and all the way around, let's fold it in half and put it along like this. And so like if you would do it in white, it would kind of look like it was a scalloped border around. So you just do a whole bunch of them around, and then it should cover the staples. For the one that has the handle through it, you can cut it like in the middle, like cut a slit out of the middle. Let me put it here and just kind of do a little bit of a slit. You could cut it with a knife or whatever, but so you just cut it at least the 1/2 inch or whatever size your handle was. Okay, so then put this down, you know, in the center, but right there where my handle is, but stick the handle through there. Let me just kind of do it quick for you. So like say this was my handle, you could stick it down through and then glue that on. So like this. And then you would do the same thing on the other side. Okay, this is another option, and then you could put them all the way around and it would look like it's a scalloped edging. That's another option. Okay, so while that dries, I'm just going to decorate it. And for my decorations, I used this bunny. I thought he was cute. And the eggs on the one side. Okay, so that's how I decorated it. And that's from this Months of the Year stamp set. It's D19.99. It is still available. It was from last April, but you could still get it. So I use this bunny here, and then these eggs. I did think about using the basket, but then I thought, well, you're putting a basket onto a basket, so that might not be the best. Yeah, Jamie, I did on my blog, I have the directions, so you can go back and read the blog too. I posted the link again for you. Okay, so there's a link to this, and I have some cut out already. I have them stamped. I don't have them cut out, so I'm going to do this fast. I would take a little bit more time to do it, like I did on the other ones, to get it a little bit closer, but I like to, whenever I'm doing a stamp, like if I have to stamp it for a project, and I have, say, an extra space on my white cardstock or whatever, I just stamp another one. That way you have it with your stamp set, so you could go back to it later. Then you don't have to get out all of your stamps and your inks and all that again. Again, I'm just doing this fast so that I'm not taking up a huge amount of time. I did color this in with the Tri-Blend markers. Not much, but because I left the bunny mostly white, but I did use, I think, some coral for his ears, and then orange for the flower, and a little bit of green there. And if I weren't going fast, I would try to get it a little bit closer to the stamped image, but okay. I'm just gonna make his ear a little bit smoother there. He looks a little bit pointy. Okay, so that's what I did on one side, and then the egg. So let's see. I think I'm gonna do the orange and the glacier one, because I think those will look nice. Cause I have pink, that would look nice, but I think the orange will match the orange of that. So yeah, you see, whenever I have extras, I just stamp and use those. So okay, let me just cut this guy out, and then we're almost ready to attach it. Okay. One other option is I do have this one. This is in this month's catalog, Z4428, these eggs. Let me see if I can put a link to it. Okay, so what I thought about these ones is, and I don't know if it's too much blue. I'm going to take these off now because I think that they're on there pretty good. Okay, so I thought this might be cute. So put the Happy Easter on that side. They're a little bit big for it. That's why I didn't use these. This was my first thought, but that would be cute. And then you wouldn't have to put the circles, right? You could just put these directly on there, and then put the stamped egg on the back. You know, this would be cute. This was my sort of second thought. But again, it's a little bit big for this, but it does, you wouldn't have to do these circles. So these are cute. I might save these for next week, because I'll show you what I'm doing next week with this stamp set. And so on this one, I just attached these with the tape runner, the mono air adhesive. And it seemed to be staying on there pretty well. I don't like to use glue if I can avoid it, because I don't know, I just make a big mess with glue. Okay, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of center his head right on that circle, and then make his ears go onto the handle. Okay, so see, that stays on there pretty good. And then on this one, again, I'm just going to use my adhesive here. And I'm going to try and cover up the circle there, whatever, the best that I can. There we go. See, so that's cute. Okay, so there you go. And the inside is covered, so if you're worried about a stable getting into your candy or anything like that. But once you put the grass inside, which, let me get my grass here. So, I went to Walgreens and just got this paper Easter grass. Although I have seen people take their leftover paper, like their scraps, and cut them into thin strips and use that. So you could do that. So let's see. Put some of this. These are like pretty long. I'm surprised at how long these are. And I didn't fill it up too much because you want to leave sort of room for some candy. I'll put a little bit more. And I don't like these pieces all hanging out, but you're doing really good on time. Okay. That's good. I mean, you could spend more time and get it to look, really nice, but okay. And then just stick in some candy. For me, I always buy these Lindt ones for the girls, so they're nice small size. Really, my original intent was to put in like one big Easter egg in there, and I thought that these Cadbury eggs were bigger. I don't know why. I thought they were bigger. I thought it would be a perfect size for one of these Cadbury eggs. But so I like the chicken, the bunny, and then here's another Cadbury egg. These ones are a little bit too big. I mean, I probably could make them fit in there, but it's a little bit big. There may be smaller bunnies that fit, but this one doesn't. And those are the ones I usually buy. Okay, there you go. Are there any questions about those? Let me know if you have any questions. I'll hold it up here so you can kind of see. So there's one side. I put them in kind of backwards because I think the bunny side for me is the front. Okay, so isn't that cute? And it's really easy. And again, a 6x6 inch piece of paper, out of one 12x12 sheet. So out of this one sheet of paper, I could make 4 baskets, but then you would need to use solid, cardstock like this one for the handles. Okay, because you would be using it all up. Yeah, shredding colored paper or tissue paper would make nice grass too. Yeah, definitely. And we were just talking about scraps yesterday during the virtual crop, and that would be a good way to use it up. So if you have any highlighter green paper that's a scrap that you want to get rid of, just cut it into little shreds. Okay, before we go, I'm gonna put him down like this so maybe you can kind of see. Before we go, in my group, I post a challenge layout. Yeah, so here's the directions here. But in my group, I post a challenge layout, and then if you do a layout, a scrapbook layout, or a card. I alternate weeks. One's a scrapbook sketch, and then the next week's a card sketch. If you make a layout or card using that sketch, then you get in a drawing for a little prize. And so this week, the sketch was, this was my sample for the sketch. It was, you know, these sort of 4 pictures, and then it had the flowers here, here, and here. So let's see, Vicki, Jamie, and Diana submitted a project, so they get to go on the wheel for a spin. So let's see who's gonna win this week. Vicki, you're the winner. Yeah, I love those flowers too. Okay, Vicki, you're the winner. I'm going to send you a special prize for doing the sketch challenge. Next week is going to be a card. And so the sketch will be posted tomorrow. So next week, the project is going to be, I'm going to make the this W fold card. So this is what we're going to make next week. And I'm using the Easter eggs for this, although I do have a sample where you don't have to make it Easter, right? You can, here I use the March stamp of the month. But it's called a W fold card. And if you look at it this way, it looks like a W. You see the W. So we're going to be making the W fold card. So this is next week. So next Sunday at 4 p.m. Central Time, we're going to be making this card. Okay, so if you don't have any questions, thanks for joining me this week. If you're not a member, I invite you to join my Facebook group, The Crafty Chemist Presents CTMH. So thanks for joining. See you guys next week. Bye.